the YouTube. Thanks all for joining the GitLab group conversation. This will be a triple hosted, 1 async, 2 synchronous. We had a pre-video, which you can review from the agenda and the announcement in Slack. I am your host, Lee Matos, Senior Support Engineering Manager, Americas East, and it's also co-hosted by
Lyle Kozlov, Senior Support Engineering Manager. Hi.
Welcome. So with that, Lyle was making sure our agenda was prepped and ready, and I will be opening that now so that we can look for questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to vocalize them and send them our way.
I think I have the first question. It says support or group conversation on the deck. Are we reusing the deck from the key meeting or not?
There are two. We're using the key meeting in the slides. I'm putting them in now. Sorry, it was in the group conversation channel, but we neglected to update the agenda.
Sorry, I might not be following completely.
Sid, I think you're asking, are we using the same slides from the key review, right? Is that what you're asking?
Yep.
And my understanding is we use a subset of those slides and then also add the team updates slide. So there's team updates, and we may add, for example, in the video, Val shared a little bit of meta around what we're doing on ticket handling processes and things like that. I'm not sure if that gets covered as widely in the key review. I think in the key review, we're talking a little bit deeper usually. So I think there are some extra slides that exist. That's something that we've done. So
yeah, my suggestion would be add those extra slides to the key review as well. There's no one ever said, hey, the key review only has to be boring numbers so that you don't have any context. Like, let's add them and let's use the same deck, and let's make that obvious that it's the same deck so that people are not spending time copy and pasting, maintaining 2 decks, stuff getting out of date, what contains the latest information. And let's have a single source of truth.
Awesome. Makes a lot of sense, Sid. I don't know how other teams handle sometimes sensitive information, especially as we think about SAFE. So other groups that are doing key reviews that might have sensitive information and then group conversations, how's that getting addressed?
Yeah, I think that's tricky. I think we've seen most key meeting decks go to internal instead of public. Which is not, and then if it's safe, it should even be limited. But I think internal will probably address most concerns already. I like it public, but if it's costing us extra work and extra handling, then we should probably then it's okay to not do that and keep it internal from now on.
Okay, great. With that, Lyle, let's take that to the next senior sync to make sure that we are very clear if it can be public or not and where the edges might be. So thanks, Sid. Great feedback. Appreciate that.
Yep. And then always happy to think about, hey, how can we present this in a way that we can also make it public, but not lose a ton of context, and then have a Sisense link or something like that for people who want to dig in further. That being said, this is a great deck and it's public. How do you think about a blog post? Because I think it's very interesting to see, like, on what dimensions you rate support. I don't think it's super obvious. I think we talked about in the key meeting, like we might even do fewer metrics, but this is like our pièce de résistance. Like, this is one of the biggest, baddest decks we've ever done. Maybe we should make a blog post, embed the slide deck, embed the prep video, maybe embed even this meeting's video, maybe even some redacted questions from the key meeting in this one, if that's all passes legal. But I think it would be great for the GitLab talent brand. Like, hey, at GitLab you have group conversations and it's pretty great content. Hopefully support the talent brand of support itself. Like, support is well run at GitLab and they're achieving pretty great results, and they're well measured and instrumented, and help with our the customer brand of support. Like GitLab does a great job on support.
From my vantage, and Lyle, I want to hear yours as well, and any other managers on the call, I'm open to it. I know that we have a publishing calendar and things like that, so it could take some time to get out, but I see no reason why we couldn't make a blog post, so that's cool. Good idea.
Who's the publishing calendar? Is that us or the content team or the
content? That's what I'm saying. It's like, I know content is like, has a strategy, so we have to make sure we're fitting into that, and I'm happy to try. I don't know where that fits. They might tell us like a tweet storm or something else, and to that end, I'm like, cool, we can partner with content to figure out the best way to share this content.
Thanks. I see Tom unmuted himself. Tom, what do you think?
It could have been an accidental unmute.
Happens.
But with that, while we're waiting for Tom, Lyle, any thoughts from you?
No, I think one of the things I'd like to do is get support brand out there a little bit more. So I know nothing but positive. I'm trying to write it in my head though. So need some thoughts.
Awesome. Other questions, feel free to raise them, vocalize them, and then we could get them in the doc. So that's one. Ask away. And I want to thank Val as well. Val, thanks for making the pre-video. That was very helpful for me to review and see where we were at. So thank you. I'm scrolling through the gallery view, looking to see if anybody's unmuting, but I'm not seeing any. I will take a minute then to give a shout out to the customer success team. In the recent past, there were a few escalations across customers on .com and on some self-managed customers that I really think the partnership from TAMs, account managers, customer success group, and support engineers worked really well. So I want to give a shout out to that. That's been really helpful. Also, actually, another big shout out to the infrastructure team. Extremely helpful on a .com related large customer escalation. So thank you. And I'll share a tiny bit of that story that I can share publicly. The thing that was most exciting to me is we had a run book. The run book was a little bit out of date, but we were fixing it as we were fixing the problem and had that MR in maybe 5 minutes after we solved that problem, which was great. And this was a rare problem. So it was clear to me that this run book wasn't as tried and true as some of our others, but I was really proud that the infrastructure team and the support team both had tried to start an MR at the same time to fix the run book. And we were like, oh, great. Okay, cool. Let's work through that. And that was that made me really happy. So just want to share that. Thanks, Info. Other questions? We'll make this a quick one. We're here for you. So if you don't have anything, then we've done our job and we've communicated well. Sean John mentions about a customer had a great interaction with support, so they were very happy. So thanks, Sean John, for sharing that. We also got an outstanding customer feedback for Bree, one of our support engineers. I don't have the total language in front of me, but we will get that shared internally and maybe even shared externally or a blog post about it. But Bree will be working with the rest of our support team to help us get that. It ended with, I'm not just happy about working with GitLab, I am straight inspired. So that was the full context will be shared with you in Slack, but that was our pride and joy this week, our crowning achievement. So.
I would like to add on to that. I don't remember who it was, but two of my customers mentioned that same thing. They didn't respond to the ticket, and she reached out a week later, and they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. It wasn't that important. I should have told you." But Bree went above and beyond and gave like a giant template of like, "Hey, is this important to you?" it's important to me, and I want to make sure that that's addressed and or passed on to your TAM or whoever. So her template I stole, and now I will use that with customers to push that, because I need them to understand, like, hey, don't just create a support ticket, but also follow up on the issue. Make a feature request, things like that. I think they kind of stop after that. So she did inspire me to take her template and then pass it on to customers, since they did give her great feedback. They said, not only did she just take the ticket and address it, but she also helped me not feel as, she felt kind of dumb. She said, she was like, it was a support request, and she just had a migration plan, and she was like, she didn't make me feel dumb. She made me feel like she was still listening, and basically she had a great interaction. And I was like, okay, I'll follow up. So that's been on my to-do list for 2 weeks. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. And we're happy to share. And so, yeah, the more efficiency gains, the better. So thanks. Questions? Looking at that agenda, not seeing anything. So if that's the case, I want to respect our time. Thank you all. If you have more questions, you know where to find us in Slack. Feel free to reach out. You can reach out to any support team member. Otherwise, we'll look forward to seeing you in a few weeks. And thank you. Bye all.
Bye. Bye all.